Word up, everybody. Welcome to Word of the Day with Comedians. I am your host, Dennis Maller, and joining me on the program today is comedian, actress, and chess aficionado and teacher of board games, Danna Kiel.
What's up, everybody? I'm Danna Kiel. He said that.
All right, our word of the day is anfractuous. And of course, we always have to check the pronunciation of that because I can't be trusted to say words because I went to 6 years of community college and didn't graduate. I can't read and I'm a dum-dum.
Anfractuous. Anfractuous.
The definition of anfractuous is full of windings and intricate turnings. So basically every M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Right.
Cue the Sheryl Crow movie, Every Day is a Winding Road.
Every day is a winding road. Oh my God. And I love this song. I thought that was every
I can't afford to play this song. I can't afford to play this song.
No, but I thought that was Sheryl Crow. Every day is a winding road. Like I thought that was, I don't know. I thought it was some of the other ones that I like so much. I like them all, but I thought it was, and I know it's not. Why can't I think of her name? I know it's not Alanis. But like, yeah, Sheryl Crow. Anyway, I love this song. All right, windings.
So now that brings us to our fun fact. Did you knowism of the day for the word not winding? That's not our word of the day. It's anfractuous.
And I got lost. Anfractuous. And I was just like, what is the word now? Not windings, not windings, not wingdings. But okay, yes.
Welcome to Word of the Day, where we pick a word and then we go on tangents and forget about the word. So the fun fact of anfractuous is plots and paths can be anfractuous.
Okay.
They twist and turn, but do not break. Never mind that the English word comes ultimately from the Latin verb frangere, meaning to break. Which, by the way, I think we've both have seen A Christmas Story where they see the box at the leg lamp that comes in, it says fragile, and he reads it wrong and goes, fragile. It must be Italian. This whole time, frangere was an actual Latin word that means fragile. Awesome. So frangere is also the source of fracture, fraction, and fragment.
I took Latin in high school. So even though I don't remember frangere, but everything for the record, it all comes from Latin. It really, really does. I took 2 years of Latin in high school. And so when you said frangere, or when I saw it on the thing, I was just like, well, that's fragile. That's fracture. I knew immediately I will never forget learning the word for walk in Latin, which was ambulo. And I remember Sister Joseph Angela, God rest her soul, she's gone, and she was our Latin teacher, and she was ambulare, because the infinitive, to walk walk was ambulo, and then ambulare was to walk. So, and she just had this booming bass in her voice when she would teach us, the pronunciation. So when I see words, I always think of Sister Joseph Angela. When I see the Latin roots, all of that, then my mind immediately flows with the English word. So of course, when we learned ambulo for walk, I knew that was amble, because amble is another word for amble along. It's another word for walk. So anyway, so when you said frangere, the first thing I thought was fracture, fragile, break, I thought all the things because that's how my mind works.
Perfect. I couldn't have brought on a smarter person of words to a podcast called Word of the Day. Frangere is also a source of fracture, fraction, fragment, and frail. But one of these steps between frangere and anfractuous is Latin anfractus, meaning coil or bend. The prefix an means around. So at first, anfractuous was all about ears and the auditory canals, anfractuosity. 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 Please tell me in the comments how to pronounce that word, which is just going to be people in the comments typing the word and me getting nowhere. So auditory canals anfractuosity. That is, it's being curved rather than straight. Anfractuous has been around for centuries without a break, giving it plenty of time to wind its way into other applications. For example, there can be an anfractuous thought process or anfractuous shoreline.
I feel like I have anfractuous thought processes all the time that they wind and they wind around. They never break, but they just wind and coil and twist. Okay.
Yeah. If I had to describe my thought process, it's constantly breaking. Maybe that's because of ADD.
Oh, and so your thought process is fractuous. And mine is anfractuous. Okay. Got it.
Which, by the way, I'm pretty sure Anfractuous was the first draft of Anne Frank's diary title.
And of course, when you said the word, I was like, Anne Frank. Like when you were saying the word, I was like, Anne Frank is Frank. Oh, okay. And so when you finished the word, I was like, okay, it's a real word. It's not her name. Okay.
Anfractuous means is the process of creating an Anne Frank diary. All right, now that brings us to the time to construct a sentence using the word of the day in context. And of course, every good sentence has a subject, which is what the sentence is about. So let's go with the definition of it, where we were talking about an anfractuous thought process. So there can be an anfractuous thought process. So what is the name of somebody who doesn't have to be a proper noun, doesn't have to be an actual person, but just a name that represents the personality of someone who would be anfractuous in their thoughts?
Like there's a comedian. Now here's the thing though. Let me just say this. I thought of a sentence that didn't include a person. My sentence, which I didn't know I was gonna have to, like, I had a sentence for the word, and then but now you want me to think of a person.
Go for it.
So I'll give you the sentence.
No, tell me what you were thinking of. We can work off that.
Okay, so the monster roller coaster at Six Flags is anfractuous. I think that's, winds, twists, turns, right? And here's the thing, only because I don't know the name of the actual monster roller coaster at Six Flags, I'm just sure that like every amusement park, they have one, right? So that's that.
I like the Six Flags idea. So let's
let's
build off that, because we want this to be we want this to be like absurd and funny. Let's see if we can combine those two ideas. Let's use an analogy. So we could say, so-and-so's thought process is as anfractuous as the roller coaster at Six Flags.
Okay. I'm trying to think. Every calculus teacher I had at Tuskegee. No. Right. Oh, you know what? Who was the comic, or who is the comic that, oh my gosh, and this is who I think I'm actually trying to think of. He would have this kind of like squeaky like voice and this like kind of face where he would almost kind of backhand his own comments. And it would just be this weird kind of, it was very funny. And you never knew what he was going to say. And his hair was always kind of, I've got to go find it, but he would just be like, he would say something and then he's like, but no, that's not, I don't know. Like, this was obviously long before I got into comedy, but I used to watch him a lot, and he was probably big in the 80s.
Bobcat Goldthwait?
Not Bob. No, because Bobcat, wait, was it Bobcat? Because, okay, who used to scream a lot? Like, who used to do this?
He used to talk a lot like this. All right, thank you, welcome.
You know what? It is.
Oh, I love him. He's my favorite comedian.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's funny.
He has a new tour documentary out with him and Dana Gould called Joyride. And if either of them want to come on and do a word of the day to help promote Joyride, hit me up in the DMs. Slide into my DMs, Bobcat. Come on. Slide into them.
All of this because of anfractuous. Like all of this came up because of the word of the day, anfractuous.
Okay. And so we can use Gilbert, or not Gilbert, we can use Bobcat if we want as our sentence. All right, everybody, we have officially picked our word of the day. We have defined it, and we have created a sentence using it in context. And to present all of that for you today is my guest, Danna Kiel.
Whoop, whoop. I'm Danna Kiel. He said that. So, our word of the day, anfractuous. I gotta say that it comes from the Latin frangere, which means to break, but anfractuous makes it the opposite. So, anfractuous, full of windings, a very important word, and intricate turnings, like bendy but not breaky, and so we came up with a sentence, you guys. The never-endingly winding thought process of Bobcat Goldthwait stand-up is as anfractuous as a roller coaster at Six Flags, much to the chagrin of his Joyride tour mate, Dana Gould. Anfractuous. I felt like I was at a spelling bee. You know how at the spelling bee you have to say the word before you spell the word? Anfractuous. Anfractuous. Okay, so
Perfect. I love it. All right, everybody, we have officially expanded our vocabulary by one more word today. I want to thank you for watching. And of course, if you use the word anfractuous in a sentence, whether it's the correct usage or not, I want to hear all about it in the comments. And of course, thank you for watching. And thank you to my guest, Danna Kiel, for joining us today and helping us construct this sentence. And Danna, please tell everyone where they can find you.
Are you guys? Twitter, DJ Danna K, and that's DJ DANNAK. Very important. Instagram, right there like you see it, Danna, that's 2 N's, Danna Kiel. My IG, Danna Kiel, DANNAKIEL. Facebook, DANNAKIEL. Last but not least, TikTok, Danna Kiel 26, because that's my birthday. And that's all the places you can find me. If you remember Danna Kiel, that was my best Bobcat Gold Wave. Then you won't, and 2 N's, then you'll find me everywhere.
And also for any of our watchers who are female identifying, Danna runs a really good open mic Monday and Wednesdays on Clubhouse. So get on that audio social app and try out your material if you're an aspiring comedian. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to word up.